Good morning, everyone. So we are going to start the topic phase of digestion, syllabic gland and pancreas one by one. So first come to the first point, that is what is the objective of to study these topics. So by studying, you can understand the gastric phase, how the food goes into the stomach, how it will goes from the intestine, and before that, how can your bodies prepare for coming food coming. Second things, we will explain the gross morphology, structure and function of the salivary glands, different type of secretion by the glands, appreciate coordinate working patterns of a different secretion by the glands, and role and function of saliva and other secretion. With you can understand the anatomy, physiology of the pancreas. Upon completion, you can understand the neural and hormonal regulation of the secretion, how the saliva can be secreted, how the pancreatic enzymes can be secreted, then morphology of the salivary glands, their function of the salivary glands, activities occur in the mouth and indicated how the food is passed from the mouth to the stomach, different digestive activity of the salivary glands. So you can all learn these things. Now come to the point, the phases of digestion. Now, in these phases of digestion, digestive activity occur in three phase, overlapping phase. Okay, we already completed the digestive chapter, so it will be very easy to make it clear to understand that the different phase of digestion. Okay, digestion will be started from the mouth. Okay, and then gonna to end with to the anus. So during the all the process, it can be divided into three phases: cephalic phase, gastric phase, and intestinal phase. Okay, cephalic phase, that means in this phase the body is prepared for the food. Gastric phase, body comes, food comes in the body in the stomach, and then intestinal phase, food goes into the intestine. So these all the things can be divided into three phases. Now the first one is the cephalic phase. During the cephalic phase of digestion, the smell, sight, thought, or initial taste of food activates the neural center in the cerebral cortex, hypothalamus, and brainstem. Brainstem then activate the facial, glossopharyngeal, and vagus nerve. The facial and glossopharyngeal nerve stimulate the salivary gland to secrete the saliva, while vagus nerve will stimulate the gastric glands to secrete the gastric juice. So the purpose of cephalic phase of digestion is to prepare the mouth and stomach for the food that is about to be eaten. Now understand it. In this cephalic phase, the bodies prepare themselves for the food. Still, food is not in the body, but by the smell, by the sight, by the thought, or by the initial taste. When you are passing through a restaurant, you smell a delicious fragrance of food. Either you just saw some foods at a food corner, or you can just assume it. You can just thought about the foods. Now I'm going to eat these, whatever, any foods, or someone giving you a small amount of a very small amount only for the taste the foods. So in these all cases, it's a human behavior. When you are walking through across a restaurant and you smell a fragrance, a food fragrance, then the saliva secretion will start. Now your mouth become watery. कहते हैं ना, मुंह में पानी आ जाता है फूड देख के या उसकी स्मेल से. ओके, या जस्ट कोई बहुत ज़्यादा फूड की अच्छी अच्छी बातें कर रहा हो तो कहते हैं ना कि बस करो यार. ठीक है. सो दिस कंडीशन, इन द cephalic phase, food is still not there, Food is not inside the body, but body prepare themselves, like food is coming to us. So when you smell, body prepare themselves, now food is coming, I just smell it. When you sight, when you see, then the body is prepared. When you thought about the food, or when initial taste. So in this all cases, is body prepare themselves for the food coming. And how they prepare? By secreting the saliva, by releasing the gastric juice in the stomach. So by secreting the saliva in the mouth will become the watery and mucus. Similarly, when the by enhance the stimulation of the gastric juice secretion in the stomach, now the stomach is prepared themselves for the food. Now food is coming, so they will already the gastric juice will be prepared. Now how this process is gonna to happen? In this all the process, these initial things like the smell, sight, thought, taste, this will all activate the neural center in the cerebral cortex, hypothalamus and brainstem. So when our brain will be activate, this brain will activate the cranial nerve number 7, 9th, 10th. Okay. So three cranial nerves will be activated, 7, 9th and 10th by these steps. So when the 7th, 9th or 10th cranial nerve be activated, cranial nerve number 7th and 9th, the facial and glossopharyngeal, will stimulate the salivary gland to secrete the saliva. So when these two cranial nerves will be activated through the smell, through the sight, through the thought, then it will be activate the salivary gland, and salivary gland will secrete the saliva in the mouth. So mouth will be ready. Same things with the cranial nerve number 10th, vagus nerve. Vagus nerve will stimulate the gastric juice secretion in the stomach. So stomach and mouth both are prepared for the food to be eaten. That will be called the cephalic phase. So in the cephalic phase, before coming the foods, body prepare themselves for the foods. So that will be the cephalic phase. Now gastric phase are very easy. When food reaches to the stomach, that is the gastric phase. So when we start the eating, our food goes into the stomach through the esophagus. So it's the gastric phase. The gastric phase of digestion begins. Neural and hormonal mechanisms regulate the gastric phase of digestion to promote the gastric secretion and gastric motility. Now, there are the two mechanisms, a neural mechanism and hormonal mechanism. That means electrical impulse will uh, work, and some hormones and some chemicals will work. To whom? To regulate the gastric phases of digestion, to promote the secretion and motility. Now, first, how the neural regulation will help in the gastric phases? Food of any kind distend the stomach and stimulate the stress receptor in its wall. Now, the chemoreceptor in the stomach monitor the pH of the stomach kind. When the stomach wall are distended or pH is increases because protein have entered the stomach and buffered some of the stomach acid. So the stretch receptor and the chemoreceptor are activated, and neural negative feedback loop is set in the motion from the stress receptor and the chemoreceptor. Nerve impulses propagate to the submucosal plexus where they activate the parasympathetic and enteric neurons. When food goes into the stomach, now how the gastric phase will work? See, when food goes into the stomach, what will happen? Two things will be there. One thing, the pH of the stomach will be changed because the food is going inside, that will contains the protein, and it will causes the neutralization of the acids. Acid will be goes down, pH will be increases. Okay, so one thing is the pH will be changed of the stomach. Second thing will be what will happen when the food goes into the stomach. Now stomach is gonna to distend, stretch. Stomach is like a sac like structure, a bag, a reservoir. So when food will go fill in the stomach is gonna to broad, okay, distend. So two mechanisms will be here. One, stomach wall will be distend. Second, pH will be changed, pH will be increased. So these two things happen in the gastric phase when the food comes into the these things. Now, from the stress receptor and the chemoreceptor, nerve impulses propagate to the submucosal plexus. So, by this action, by changing the pH and by this process, the activate the parasympathetic and enteric neurons. Now, the parasympathetic system and the enteric neurons will be activated. Okay, so I think gastric phase will be clear here. Now, we will see how it will work. Okay, so before going to the next slide, first phase was the cephalic phase. Cephalic phase में क्या होता है? Body prepare themselves for the foods to be eaten, okay, by activating the cranial nerve number 7, 9 and 10. 7, 9 will help to secrete the saliva by the salivary glands. Cranial nerve number 10th, vagus nerve, will secrete the gastric juice. In the gastric phase, when the food goes into the stomach is going to distind, so stress receptor will be activated, and the food contains the proteins that will neutralize the acid, so pH will be increased. So by these two mechanisms, parasympathetic system and the enteric neurons will be activated. Now what will happen when these will be activated? So resulting nerve impulse causes the peristalsis and continue to stimulate the flow of gastric juice from the gastric glands. These two conditions, by the parasympathetic and enteric neurons activation, the wave of peristalsis will be increased and the gastric juice secretion will be also increased. So the peristaltic wave makes the food with the gastric juice, and when the wave becomes strong enough, a small quantity of chyme undergoes gastric emptying into the duodenum. The pH of the stomach chyme decrease and the distension of the stomach wall lessens because chyme has passed into the small intestine, suppressing the secretion of gastric juice. ये सब क्यों हो रहा था? Due to the distension in the stomach, due to the load in the stomach. स्टमक में लोड पड़ गया था, स्टमक में खिंचाव हो गया था due to the feeling of food. So ये सब हो रहा था. So what will happen when in this case? In this case, when the food is gonna to empty from the stomach, okay, when the food is gonna to empty, sorry, pardon me, when the food is gonna to empty, that means stomach is gonna to empty, okay. So in this case, distension will be reduced and the pH will be gonna to decrease, that means it will be more acidic. So in both cases, the gastric juice secretion will be suppressed as well as the distension will be gained, okay. So gastric phase में क्या हो रहा था? डिस्टेंशन, स्टमक में खिंचाव और पीएच का बढ़ना, ये दो चीजें हो रही थी, ओके। क्यों हो रही थी? बिकॉज फूड्स कमिंग इनटू द स्टमक, सो स्टमक इज गोना टू लोड, सो स्टमक में लोड बढ़ेगा, स्टमक में खिंचाव होगा, pH increase. These two processes will activate the parasympathetic and the enteric plexus neurons. So resulting क्या हो रहा है? Peristalsis wave will be developed, okay, and stimulate the gastric juice from the gastric glands. When the when the peristalsis wave will be increases, will be enhanced, what will cause? It will causes the movement of the foods from the stomach to the duodenum, okay. So when the wave will be strong, when the peristalsis will be strong, then a small amount of the food from the stomach goes into the duodenum. So when the food will goes from the stomach to duodenum, now the stomach is gonna to empty. When the stomach will be empty, when we stomach having the less food, then the distension in the stomach will gonna to end and the pH is gonna to decrease. So in both condition, this system will be stopped. So it's already lessened, gastric suppression is already happened, okay. So by the inhibition of this parasympathetic. Second mechanism is the hormonal regulation, how hormone regulate the gastric phase. Now gastric secretion During the gastric phase is also regulated by the hormone that is called the gastrin. It's released from the G cells of the gastric glands. In response to several stimuli, distension of the stomach by the chyme, partially digested protein in the chyme, high pH of chyme, due to the presence of food in the stomach, caffeine in gastric chyme, and acetylcholine released from the parasympathetic neurons. So these G cell of the gastric glands will release the gastrin by the different several ways. Okay, either by the distension of the stomach, अगर stomach में खिंचा हुआ तो G cell gastrin release करेगी. Okay, partially digested protein, so if present in the chyme, then G cell will release the gastrin. If the pH of the chyme is high, then the gastrin will be released. Food presence in the stomach causes the gastrin release. Caffeine present, acetylcholine release. This all causes the release of gastrin. And gastrin, I earlier taught you, gastrin is a potent inducer of the ulcer. It will causes the enhance the excretion of the acid. Once it released, gastrin enters the bloodstream, make a round trip through the body, and finally reaches its target organ in the digestive system. Gastrin stimulates the gastric glands to secrete the large amount of the gastric juice. Okay, so gastrin will gastrin cause? Gastrin will causes the secrete the large amount of the gastric juice. It also strengthens the contraction of the lower esophageal sphincter to prevent the reflux and acid coming into the esophagus. Increase motility of the stomach. और क्या क्या कर रहा है? Gastrin will causes the contraction of the lower esophageal sphincter. जो esophageal के sphincters हैं, between the esophagus and cardia there is a sphincter, esophageal sphincter. I taught you in the last class. So gastrin will causes the contraction of this sphincter, so sphincter will be closed and reflux, the food reflux will be prevented. It cannot come into the esophagus. And second things, it will increase the motility of the stomach and relax the pyloric sphincter. The motility of the stomach will be enhanced, increases, and the pyloric sphincter will be relaxed. So food will be rapid passed from stomach to the duodenum. So अगर गैस्ट्रिन रिलीज हो रहा है तो गैस्ट्रिन एक तो एसिड प्रोडक्शन को बढ़ा देगा, ठीक है. दूसरा जो रिफ्लक्स होता है फूड का, जो फूड वापस इसोफेगस में आ जाती है, बर्निंग सेंसेशन होता है, वो नहीं होगा क्योंकि कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर रहा है. किसको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर रहा है? कॉन्ट्रैक्टिंग द इसोफेगल स्फिंक्टर. और क्या कर रहा है? रिलैक्स कर रहा है किसको? पाइलोरिक स्फिंक्टर्स को. और इंक्रीज कर रहा है मोटेलिटी ऑफ द स्टमक. गेट खोल दीजिए, ठीक है, और फिर घर में तूफान लाइए तो तूफान बाहर तो जाएगा ही जाएगा. सेम थिंग हियर, स्टमक में मोटेलिटी बढ़ाई जा रही है, स्टमक में मूवमेंट बढ़ाई जा रही है और पाइलोरिक गेट खोल दिया जा रहा है, तो मूवमेंट बढ़ेगा और गेट खुल जाएगा तो फूड विल पास इनटू द intestine, duodenum. So gastrin secretion is inhibited when the pH of the gastric juice drops below the 2. Now the gastric juice pH is dropped below the 2, gastrin secretion is inhibited. And it will be again stimulated when the pH is going to increased. So the negative feedback mechanism helps provide an optimal low pH for the functioning of the pepsin, the killing of microbes, and the denaturing of the protein in the stomach. Now, third phase is the intestine phase. I hope the cephalic phase and gastric phase will be clear. The intestinal phase. Now, the food comes into the intestine, small intestine, the first part, duodenum. It contracts to reflex the initiate during the cephalic and gastric phase, which stimulate the stomach secretory activity and motility. Those occurring during the intestinal phase has an inhibitory effect that slow the exit of chyme from the stomach. Now, when the food comes into the intestine phase, intestines will remain the food for hours or maximum time, so it can be digest them, it can be absorb them. And if the intestine is gonna to overload, then the absorption and digestion will not work properly. So how can we prevent the overload of intestine? Only by closing the pyloric sphincter, so food will not pass from the stomach to the duodenum. सो कुछ ऐसा करना है कि स्टमक से फूड ड्यूडेनम पे पास ना हो। कैसे हो रहा था? When the stomach having the increase the motility, pyloric sphincter is open, food will pass. सो कुछ ऐसा करे कि स्टमक में मोर्टेलिटी कम हो जाए, पाइलोरिक स्फिंक्टर भी partially closed रहे, so a small amount of food will comes into the intestine. So how it will be happen? So intestinal phase have the inhibitory effect that slow the exit of chyme from the stomach. So this intestinal phase will put the some inhibitory effect on the stomach. So the chyme will slowly released. This prevents the duodenum from being overloaded with more chyme than it can be handled. I already explained. So the during the initial phase, intestinal phase, promote the continued digestion of the food that have the reach to the small intestine, and these activity of the intestinal phase of digestion are regulated by the neural and hormonal mechanism. Again, this intestinal phase again will be controlled by the neuronal and hormonal mechanism. Now, neural regulation. How the neural regulation will help into the intestinal phase? Distension of the duodenum by the presence of chyme causes the introgastric reflux. Now the food coming at the duodenum, duodenum is also going to distend. My food जहाँ जहाँ पहुँचेगा वो एरिया थोड़ा डिस्टेंशन होगा, उसमें थोड़ा खिंचाव होगा, थोड़ा लोड बढ़ेगा. So stress receptor in the duodenum wall send a nerve impulse to the medulla oblongata where they inhibit the parasympathetic stimulation and stimulate the sympathetic nerve to the stomach. Now see, earlier parasympathetic were acting, okay, in the gastric phase parasympathetic were activated ना, जिसके कारण मोर्टेलिटी बढ़ गया था, पीएच बढ़ रहा था. Now by this, when the distension occurred at the duodenal part, this duodenal will send a signal because the stress receptor is going to activate, and this stress receptor will send a signal to the medulla oblongata brain. Okay, now medulla oblongata will command and inhibit the parasympathetic stimulation. पैरासिम्पैथेटिक स्टिमुलेशन को इनहिबिट किया गया और किसको एक्टिवेट किया गया? सिंपैथेटिक नर्व्स को एक्टिवेट किया गया. सो रिजल्ट क्या होगा? गैस्ट्रिक मोटालिटी इज इनहिबिटेड. पैरासिम्पैथेटिक क्या काज कर रहा था? गैस्ट्रिक मोटालिटी बढ़ा रहा था. सिंपैथेटिक क्या कर देगा? गैस्ट्रिक मोटालिटी को इनहिबिट कर देगा. सो द गैस्ट्रिक मोटालिटी इज इनहिबिटेड एंड देयर इज इंक्रीज इन द कॉन्ट्रैक्शन ऑफ द पाइलोरिक स्फिंक्टर. सो वही दोनों काम हुए. गेट को, पाइलोरिक स्फिंक्टर को क्लोज कर दिया गया बाय द कॉन्ट्रैक्शन, और गैस्ट्रिक मोटालिटी को कम कर दिया गया. सो गैस्ट्रिक इम्पिटिंग क्या हो जाएगी? कम हो जाएगी. स्टमक धीरे धीरे इम्पिटिंग होगा. दैट इज द न्यूरल रेगुलेशन. हार्मोनल रेगुलेशन कैसे काम करेगा इसमें? The intestinal phase of digestion is mediated by the two major hormones secreted by the small intestine, that is the cholecystokinin and secretin. cholecystokinin and secretin इन दोनों के फंक्शन मैंने आपको लास्ट क्लास में बता दिया था. Now, here you can see there's a major hormones that control the digestion. Gastrin is there. Gastrin function we have seen. Distension of the stomach, partially digested proteins and caffeine in the stomach, high pH of the stomach chyme, stimulate the gastric secretion by the enteroendocrine G cells, located mainly in the mucosa of the pyloric antrum of stomach. What is the action of the gastrin? It promotes the secretion of gastric juice, increase the gastric motility, and promote the growth of gastric mucosa. Also, it will contract the lower esophageal sphincter and relax the pyloric sphincter. Okay. Secretin is there. The acidic kind that enters the small intestines stimulate the secretion of secretin by the enterocrine S cell. What will function of the secretin? Stimulate the secretion of pancreatic juice and bile that are rich in bicarbonate. Okay. देखिए, how secretin will work? When the acidic chyme comes into the duodenum. Now you know stomach having the acidic environment and the intestine having the alkaline environment. But when the food come from the stomach to the intestine, food having the acidic environment, acidic nature, because in the stomach there is acid. So this acid will comes into the duodenum. Okay, so when the acid will comes in the small intestine, now intestine, small intestine having the alkaline nature. So this secretin will activate. So when the intestine, when the duodenal will gonna to be acidic, then the secretin will be activated. Or what will do secretin? Secretin will causes the stimulation of the pancreatic juice and bile. और pancreatic juice और biles में bicarbonate बहुत ज़्यादा होते हैं. So when the bicarbonate will be released from the pancreatic and bile at the area of duodenum, what will happen? It will again gonna to maintain the pH, goes into the alkaline. Minor effects क्या होंगे? Inhibit the secretion, gastric juice, and promote the normal growth of the maintenance of the pancreas and enhance the effect of CCK. कोलेसिस्टोकाइनिन क्या होता है? Partially digested proteins, partially digested proteins, triglycerides, and fatty acids that enters the small intestine stimulate the secretion of CCK by enteroendocrine cells. So, protein, those partially digested, not fully digested, triglyceride, fatty acid, when these things will enter into the small intestine, the CCK will be stimulated. And is this CCK will stimulate the secretion of pancreatic juice rich in the digestive enzyme, causes the ejection of the bile from the gallbladder and opening of the sphincter of the hepatopancreatic ampulla. So when the hepatopancreatic ampulla can be opened, it will goes bile and pancreatic juice to the duodenum. Now salivary gland. You see in the cephalic phase, the first thing is prepare the salivary gland to secrete the saliva. A salivary gland is that release a secretion called saliva into the oral cavity. Ordinary, just enough saliva is secreted to keep the mucous membrane of the mouth and pharynx moist and cleans the mouth and teeth. When the food enters the mouth, however, secretion of saliva increases. However, when the food enters the mouth, however, इसी तरह secretion start हो जाता है. However, what however? I already told you how it will be start. Which type of the nerves is going to activate. And it lubricates, dissolve, and begin the chemicals breakdown of the foods. The mucous membrane of the mouth and tongues contains many small salivary glands that open directly or indirectly via the short ducts to the oral cavity. These glands include the labial, buccal, and palatal glands in the lips, cheeks, and palate, respectively, and the lingual glands in the tongues, all of which make a small contribution to the saliva. Now, salivary gland are those glands which release the secretion that we call the saliva. Where? Oral cavity, mouth. The most saliva is secreted by the major salivary gland, which lies beyond the oral mucosa into the duct that lead to the oral cavity. So, the salivary glands divided into the three pairs. Three pair of the major salivary glands. पेयर में है, ध्यान रखिएगा. Parotid gland, submandibular gland, and sublingual gland. Which one? Parotid, submandibular, and sublingual gland. Parotid means होता है near to ear. So those glands which are near to ear, that will be called the parotid glands. Parotid glands are located inferior and anterior to the ear. एक तो inferior होगा, ear के inferior होगा, below होगा, and anterior होगा, ठीक है, आगे की तरफ, to the ears, between the skin and the masseter cells. So we have the skin and we have the masseter cell. So between them it will be located. Each secrete the saliva into the oral cavity via a parotid duct. Okay, so parotid gland will secrete the saliva through the parotid duct into the cavity, oral cavity, that pierces the buccinator muscles to open into the vestibular opposite the secondary maximal molar tooth. So when it will be near to ear located, it having the one duct, parotid duct, and that parotid duct is gonna through the buccinator muscles and open into the towards the opposite of the you can say second maxilla, upper molar tooth. The submandibular glands are found in the floor of the mouth, submandibular. Okay, so it will present in the found in the floor of mouth, and they are medial and partially inferior to the body of mandible. Their ducts, the submandibular ducts, run under the mucosa on either side of the midline of the floor of the mouth and enter the oral cavity proper, lateral to the lingual frenulums. The sublingual glands are beneath the tongues. Okay. So parotid glands near to ear, submandibular glands floor of mouth, and sublingual glands beneath the tongue. So sublingual glands are beneath the tongues and superior to the submandibular glands. Sublingual glands are just beneath the tongues, but it is superior to the submandibular gland. Okay, सबमैंडिबुलर ग्लैंड से क्या है, ऊपर है. सबमैंडिबुलर कहाँ है, फ्लोर ऑफ द माउथ. सबमैंडिबुलर इज द फ्लोर ऑफ माउथ, while sublingual is the below the tongues, and their duct, that is the sublingual ducts, open into the floor of mouth in the oral cavity proper. Now you can see these are the structure here. There are different glands. First one is the parotid gland, just near to ear, and parotid gland having a parotid ducts that open the into the molar tooth, secondary molar tooth. So except that, next will be submandibular gland. You can see submandibular gland is just on the floor of the mouth, and it's having the submandibular duct, and this submandibular duct is open into the medial lines. Then third is the sublingual gland, just beneath the tongue, and it have the sublingual duct, and this duct will be open into the floor of mouth. So these are the salivary glands. Now, what is the composition and function of the salivary glands? Chemically, saliva is 99.5% water and 0.5% solutes. Okay, among the solutes are ions, including the sodium, potassium, chloride, bicarbonate, and phosphate. Also present are some dissolved gases and various organic substances, including like the urea, uric acid, mucus, immunoglobulin, a bacteriolytic enzyme, lysozyme, salivary amylase, digestive enzyme act on the starch. So there are the several types of the enzymes present in the saliva, which will start to the breakdown of the food at the initial stage. Okay, not all salivary glands supply the same ingredients. So the parotid glands secrete a watery liquid containing salivary amylase. So we have the three pair of the salivary gland, and these salivary glands will not secrete the same composition. Okay, same ingredients. So everyone having their importance, everyone having their own functions and own secretion. Like parotid glands will secrete the watery liquid containing salivary amylases, because the submandibular glands contain the cells similar to those found in the parotid glands plus some mucus cell, so they secrete a fluid that contains the amylase but thickened with the mucus. The sublingual glands contain a mostly mucus cells, so they secrete a much thicker fluid that contribute only a small amount of salivary amylases. The water in the saliva provides a medium for dissolving the food, so that it can be tasted by the gustatory receptor, so the digestion reaction can begin. Chloride ion in the saliva activate the salivary amylase, so enzyme that start the breakdown of the starch. Bicarbonate and phosphate ion in buffer acidic foods that enter the mouth, so saliva is only slightly acidic. So saliva having the slightly acidic nature, 6.35 to 6.85. So bicarbonate and phosphate is also there. Okay, so it will buffer the acidic food. So when we are eating the acidic food, it will buffer them and maintain the pH. Salivary glands, you're talking about the salivary glands, like the sweet glands of the skin, help remove the waste molecules from the body which accounts for the pancreas of urea and uric acid in saliva. Mucus lubricate the food so it can be moved around easily in the mouth, formed into a ball and swallowed. Immunoglobulin A prevent the attachment of microbes so that cannot penetrate the epithelium, and the enzyme lysozyme kills the bacteria. However, these substances are not present in a large enough quantities to eliminate all oral bacteria. Now, there is a one interesting things in the all the salivary glands. We have seen there is a secretion of the immunoglobulin A is also present in their secretion. Antibodies, it prevents the attachment of microbes, so they cannot penetrate the epithelium. When we are eating something, it can be infected. It can be having some bacteria, some infection will be there in the foods. Okay, we don't know which type of the foods we are eat. So that foods contains some bacteria, and when we are eating it, the immunoglobulin A is here, which prevent the attachment of microbes so to our epithelium layer, so it cannot penetrate and goes into the body. Second thing, there is an enzyme that will be called the lysozyme. So this lysozyme will help to kill the bacteria. However, these substances cannot kill, cannot eradicate, cannot finish the all type of the bacterial infection, but at the primary phase, it can eliminate the oral bacteria. Okay, so there's a not so much amount of the immunoglobulin or the lysozyme is present in the secretion, so it can remove all the infection, all the bacteria, but on the primary phase, it will protect us. Okay. So for today, pancreas we will discuss in the next topic. Today we discussed the gastric phases and the salivary gland. So I hope you understand how the gastric phase, about the cephalic phase, gastric phase and intestinal phase work, and then what, how the salivary gland will secrete the different saliva secretion, how many types of the salivary gland is there, and what is the composition and function of the salivary gland. Okay, so pancreas we will discuss in the next chapter. uh, so now we have to move on the quiz section. I will show you some quiz, and then we will discuss on that quiz, that how it will help to complete your these topics. Now, the first question: what is the name given to the process of moving the gut contents along the tract in the right direction? What is the name given to the process of moving the gut contents? Name the those processes which helping to move the gut content in their right direction. First, peristalsis. Second, emesis. Third, segmentation. And D is the deglutition. Emesis, no. Reverse food can be possible. Segmentation, food can be backward, forward. Deglutition, no. So the right answer is peristalsis. Peristalsis will help to move the foods to the forward in the right direction. Question number second: where is the gastroesophageal sphincter? Gastroesophageal sphincter. Option A, the stomach and the duodenum. स्टमक और ड्यूडेनम के बीच में होता है क्या, जिसको हम पाइलोरिक स्फिंक्टर भी कहते हैं, तो इसका मतलब इट इज अ रॉन्ग आंसर. बी, between the stomach and the cecum. It's a long enough. Cecum, colon, rectum, large intestine parts. It cannot be correct. At the entrance of the stomach. स्टमक के entrance पे होता है क्या, जहाँ पे इसोफेगस स्टमक से जुड़े हुए होते हैं, या before the external anal sphincter? It is not possible. It's the anal sphincter. So answer C is correct, at the entrance of stomach. Which statement about the hypothalamus is correct? Which statement about the hypothalamus is correct? The hypothalamus is connected to the brain via the infundibulum. The hypothalamus is composed of glandular epithelial tissue. The hypothalamus secretes the releasing hormone. The hypothalamus secretes the epinephrine and norepinephrine. So which statement about the hypothalamus is correct? So you can see the hypothalamus secretes the releasing hormones. Okay, when you will study the hormones, you can see there is every hormone is having the releasing hormone that is secreted by the hypothalamus. So answer C is correct. What is produced by the beta cell of the pancreas? Now it's an interesting question. Beta cell of pancreas can be produced which type of the secretion? Beta cell pancreas. A. Angiotensin converting enzyme. Angiotensin converting enzyme. That means ACE. Is it produced by the beta cell? No. So it is incorrect. Glucocorticoids? Incorrect. Glucagon? Incorrect. Insulin is there. Insulin is secreted by the pancreatic beta cell. So yes, answer D is correct. What is the difference between the exocrine gland and the endocrine gland? Difference. We know it is a very common thing. Exocrine glands, ductless. ऐसा कुछ है क्या? Endocrine is the ductful. Either it can be opposite. Hmm? Endocrine glands secrete into the blood. No ducts. Directly to the blood. Exocrine having the ductful. Okay. So the difference between the exocrine and endocrine glands. Answer number D. An endocrine gland secrete into the blood and exocrine does not. Next question. Which layer of the gastrointestinal tract in contact with the content of the GIT? Which layer of the GIT is in contact with the gut? Which layer? So yes, most superficial mucosa is there. Mucosa is the most superficial layers that will directly contact with the foods in the contents. So answer B is correct. Mucosa. Next question. What term is applied to the volume of air that moves into the lungs while breathing at rest? What term is applied to the volume of air? So yes, it's C, tidal volume. Between which two anatomical structure does the larynx lies? Answer B, correct. Epiglottis and trachea. The goal of respiration into the control of concentration of which substance dissolve into the blood? Oxygen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen ions. The wall of the following structure are all supported by the cartilage except which one? Yes, bronchioles. It's a very easy things. Okay. So this quiz will help you to go through your topic today, which we discussed about the phases of digestion and the salivary gland. Okay. Now these are the reference book. As I earlier told you, after studying so much, you should go through the books because books will help you to gain something more. When you will start to reading the books, you will now today you read the books, you understand something interesting. When you read same content tomorrow, you will gonna have to amazed that you are gonna something new. So if you are reading a good reference book, okay, a good reference book, if you're gonna to read, then you will see there every day you are gaining something new. So just follow the instruction and go towards the reference book and find these reference book in your library. Either you can send me, I will send these books soft copy to all of you so you can learn very well. Okay, so for the today we are going to end the session here and we will meet again in the next class. Till then, thank you, goodbye. So in the next class we will start the topic pancreas. Okay, so I hope before coming to the pancreas topic, just read the basic of the pancreas, read the brief about the pancreas. Then when I will teach you about the pancreas, you will go and make it clear to understand. So till then, thank you so much.